Okay, so we're waiting on the stream delay. So quick explanation. It is time trials. Hold on. All right, so we unfortunately got our wires a bit crossed. We're not. Pitt went ahead. Brad wasn't ready. Brad's just going to do KD, and I'm not going to say anything in commentary about what's going on, so Brad doesn't know what strats to use, and we'll be synced up for the next one. Sorry about that. But I'll use this time to explain the format here. So what this is a time trials league. We go back and forth, each player picking their tracks. You get one try, the best race you can do, 3 laps in time trials. Whoever gets the best time wins that track. Is a best 4 out of 7 tracks per set, and best 3 out of 5 sets. Okay, it's looking Brad's just going to forfeit the track. So Pitt is going to take us to Banshee Boardwalk next. Really technical track. Needs tight, precise lines, good MTs. I think both players missed an MT there. Brad going for the shroom just after the zigzag. That is the faster shroom to use, but it is a bit more difficult. Yeah, I think we'll be seeing Pitt use his shroom around the final corner. Pitt actually saving his shrooms. It's interesting. You don't usually. That's a very odd spot for a shroom, and he goes into the water. So Brad probably going to be picking up a track win unless he makes a similar mistake. Brad shrooming into the fence a bit, but quite a huge lead now, so just needs to keep it clean. Like I said at the top, hopefully I was unmuted. These two players are pretty close in rank, but being Division 3, they're in sort of the 350 range in rank, so you could see quite a high variance in how they do. And Brad is going to come across and take his first track of the match. So Brad, off the back of that win, taking us to Koopa Troopa Beach. Again, the tracks just alternate between who is picking them. There's also, you can't pick the same track twice in the same set, either player. And then for the individual players, you can't pick the same track within 2 sets. So, for example, Brad picked Koopa Troopa Beach in this set, so neither of them can pick it again this set. And Brad can't pick it in the next set either. Pitt would be allowed to pick this track in the next set, though. And then it resets for the 3rd set. So Koopa Troopa Beach is a bit of a unique track in that the ground is quite uneven. It can catch players out, which I think just happened to Pitt, missing his drift. This tunnel jump is considered a non-shortcut. It is an intended path through the game. Pitt again saving his shroom. Seems so far that Brad is more knowledgeable on where it's best to use the shrooms, and Pitt has kind of come up with his own strats. So already you're going to see Brad's probably going to have a bit of an advantage. Oh, but he misses the tunnel and then wastes a shroom. Oh, Pitt misses the tunnel too. They both decide to just drive around, and this is suddenly close. Pitt does have the lead. See, they are pretty close, but Brad did start first, so Pitt has a bit more of a lead than it looks. Using his shroom in the second flap shroom spot instead of the traditional 3-lap spot. Brad deciding to play it safe and just shroom into the tunnel. Oh, and Pitt hits a tree! That's probably going to give it to Brad. It does. 136.60, 138.06. And we are tied up. For our next track, MrPitt is using his flap joker. So we're going to be doing Wario Stadium Lap as our next track. So for this, that means the race is just lap 1. We're not going all 3 laps on this one. It can be a smart move to use it on such a long track as well. You don't have to be consistent for as long. You can maybe go a bit more risky as well. Wario Stadium is a frustrating track. This is the track where it is the most obvious when there's a skill gap between players. Usually, if you look at the leaderboards, there are some pretty huge gaps between players, which is unusual for this game. So since Pitt used his Flap Joker, it is just lap 1, so you'll see them use all 3 of their shrooms on lap 1. Brad going for shortcut, which means he's just forfeited. If he gets it. And that's a forfeit. Yeah, unfortunately, Brad misunderstood. He thought the Joker was shortcut, not flat. So that track goes to Pitt. And he's going to take us to Mario Raceway. So Mario Raceway, one of the shortest tracks in the game. You might see some players go for a mushroom cut, but I would actually expect both these players to play it safe and go around. Again, just a tight technical track. Any mistake because it's so short is going to put the win in jeopardy for you. You see Pitt hitting a piranha plant there. Yeah, it was a bit of a miscommunication. But Pitt, unfortunately, with that Piranha hit, is going to be quite far behind now. Needs Brad to make a similar mistake. Pitt not going for the faster path through the grass at the end of the lap. It's interesting. But as expected, both players playing it safe with the mushroom cut. And so in the first set, we will be going to the tiebreaker. Strap. And it is Pitt's pick, and he's taking us to Frap Snowland for the final track of the set. Just waiting on one of the racers to ready up. Rainbow Road. I'm sure someone will pick Rainbow Road at some point. So Frap Snowland, the biggest time difference is going to be if someone hits a snowman like that, but also the shroom is really important, as well as this canyon. It's deceptively technical, and you can lose a lot more time than you would expect through this canyon. Both players pretty wide through there, but the snowman hit from Pitt is pretty much going to be the defining factor, unless Brad also hits one. Brad's taking an interesting shroom across, kind of doing neither. Pitt tried to go for the fast shroom, the typical shroom strat, but cut it a bit too far left, got stuck. Very easy to do. So Brad's looking like he is going to take the first set. Pitt again, saving his shrooms. It's interesting that he keeps doing that. Typically, the strategy is to use one shroom per lap in the same spot. There's typically a spot that's fastest. There are a few exceptions to that. Pitt into another snowman. And Brad is going to take set number 1. How do I... Oh, there we go. Okay. And Pitt is going, he's using his other Joker for DK shortcut. So Pitt already threw both of his Jokers. Brad still has both to use. TK shortcut, a very short one, AB spins mostly. If you're going full YOLO into the shortcut, you'll see these players probably taking their time to set it up, though. Be much safer with it. And so this time it's not a miscommunication. Brad does know that it's shortcut, but he doesn't actually know how to do this shortcut. So he's just driving around and I guess hoping Pitt takes an extremely long time to do the shortcut. Which, I mean, that's not impossible, really. That is a strat sometimes with these shortcut Jokers to do non-shortcut and just hope that the other person screws up. Especially if you're not confident with the shortcut, but Pitt gets it on the first lap. The thing is, as you can see, Brad has done pretty much, he's done a lap non-shortcut in the time it's taken Pitt to do one shortcut. So if Pitt has similar struggles on all three shortcuts, Brad can actually steal this. Brad playing it safe on the ramp jump as well. Doesn't want to fall in the water. Pitt gets his second shortcut. But Kent has taken him about as long as it's taken Brad, but he gets his third shortcut now, though, so that will be it. Pitt is going to take that one. Just have to wait for Brad to finish up. And because of the stream delay, I already know that we're going to Toast Turnpike on Brad's pick. Toast Turnpike is essentially just MT spam the entire track, as well as avoiding the cars. In Division 3, you might see some more car hits than you might in Division 2 or 1. So this could be quite a high variance track for these players. See both players going around the bus. You can actually get him into the inside, but if you're not comfortable with that, it is usually a good idea to play things safe. Especially in some of the lower divisions, it is usually preferable to be a bit slower but consistent. As you see Pitt hitting a car, like I said, a bit slower but consistent rather than fast and risky. Of course, ideally you'd be fast and consistent, but nobody's perfect. Brad coming across, well ahead of Pitt, has used a shroom, but that car hit is pretty much going to seal it, unless Brad also hits one, and it is still early. So the shrooms strat on this track can vary quite a bit. Some players use it all on one lap. Some players use 1-1-1. Pretty much all the shroom spots save a similar amount of time. So as long as you're shrooming around one of the corners, it's pretty much the same benefit. Tends to be that we plan the shrooms to be at a time where the traffic allows us to hug the corner nice and tight. Brad getting very close to the fence with that shroom. The difference just being Brad clean, no car hits. Pitt hitting that car early. Oh, but Brad hits a car. Looks like he does have the time in hand, though. He's gonna still come across and easily take this one. The 2:37. And Pitt is going to take us to Luigi Raceway. Luigi Raceway, potentially the lowest variance track in the game, but still definitely room for things to go wrong. You could miss a mystery boost, you could shroom into a wall, get caught in the sand. Brad going for some SSMTs, not getting any of them off though. SSMT standing for Straight Stretch Mini Turbo. You have to drift really tight. If you do them badly, they actually lose your time. They save very little compared to normal MTs. So Brad missing all those SSMTs is going to give Pitt the initial lead. 34-40. compared to a 35.13, so about 0.7 ahead after lap 1. So this is one of the tracks where you don't do a 1-1-1 shroom strat. You'll see they will do a 1-2-0. It's kind of unique that every lap is different. It does look like Pitt's got the lead. Coming around the last bend. And Pitt is going to take it 1:42.27, so by about a second. Yeah, I'm not sure if Pitt PR'd or if he's using a different card or wiped his card or something. I would suspect that's probably a PR. So Brad taking us to Sherbetland. If anyone's been paying attention to what's new and exciting in Mario Kart, we very recently there was a shortcut found on Sherbetland. For the first time in the game's history, there is a shortcut on Sherbetland now. Or I should say one that is humanly doable. There were TAS-only strats before that. Neither player going to be using that shortcut today, unfortunately. So Sherbetland, I do wonder if either of these players are going to be going for some crack jumps or if they're going to be playing it safe. Looks like Pitt playing it safe, but Brad going for a decent crack jump there. These penguins that they're going to be going between, they are on cycles. So if you know your pace, you should know where those penguins are going to be. Brad goes to the inside of the penguin, but hits the wall. Pitt, again, saving his shrooms. I wonder if Pitt isn't comfortable with that penguin being in the way lap 1, so saves it for lap 1. Yeah, because of that shroom, Brad taking a bit of an early lead. Pitt using his shroom on the straightaway there. Very unusual placement for that. Brad again hitting the wall on his shroom. And then Pitt using his shroom out of the cave. Essentially going for a flap attempt here, I guess. Does get the flashing numbers, but I should pull up Pitt's I should pull up his page. Oh, Brad hits a penguin at the very end. And with that, Pitt does take it. Unfortunate for Brad. 33.77, okay. Yeah, it looks like he deleted his times off this cart at some point. So, because I'm sure he's played Sherbet Land more than 4 times. So, Pitt, his next pick going to Moomoo Farm. Moomoo Farm with the chance to take the set. Bombi, you are one of the few people, one of the few weirdos out there who likes Moomoo Farm. Almost universally agreed to be the worst track in the game. Absolutely horrible, including by me. Terrible track. The moles are completely random. If you want to go fast, you have to risk at least one of them. So it is essentially completely in the game's hand whether or not you finish. The ground is all uneven, which makes you lose drifts and go off in weird directions. It is a waking nightmare. You can get quite a decent time without risking any moles, though. So I would think we'd see both these players playing it safe. Brad, yeah, goes around the moles. Pitt actually went through some of the moles. Brad ahead by just a little bit after lap 1. Oh, but hits a mole. So Pitt now with a huge lead. Pitt once again. Seems like his strat for this tournament is to just do flap attempts on lap 2. So Pitt is going to win the race and take the set with it. Oh man, you guys breaking my heart. Yoshi Valley is one of the best tracks in the game. One of my favorites. That one I can at least understand people not liking though. And Brad's going to take us to Mario Raceway for a flap. So flap is short for fast lap. It's just one single lap, get the best time you can. The game keeps track of that, as you can see. So we also keep track of that in time trials for the leaderboards, and then shortcut or SC is shortcut. So glitching the game out, skipping laps, all sorts of crazy stuff. Clearly the better way to play the game. I don't think anyone will disagree. Yeah, I think me and VAJ are definitely on the same side of that argument. So it's lit up because Brad still has that Joker available to him. Pitt has used both of his. And yeah, so each player can use one flap Joker and one shortcut Joker per match. So interesting that Brad actually didn't use his first shroom around the first corner. I wonder if he forgot? 2537 and 2606. And yeah, he did forget to use the first shroom. Understandable, honestly. You're used to doing one tries with the 3-lap. Yeah, FPG, you're still pretty new, I'd say, though. Same with you, Pixie. What usually happens, and this is what happened to me, everybody starts off with non-shortcut. One second. So Pitt taking us to Rainbow Road, so everybody settle in for a nice long race. But what usually happens is everybody starts with non-shortcut. Then they get sick of non-shortcut because they're getting grindy, need a bit of a break. Everybody needs a break sometimes. And so they go, you know what, why don't I try out some shortcut stuff? They fall in love. They do tons of shortcut stuff. So one day you'll dip your toe in to shortcut, I bet, and you'll learn to love it. Yeah. So Rainbow Road, what you're going to see these players do at the start, I think, is to do what's called a tran, which is to slow down at the beginning, actually hit the brakes, and then triple tap A. And as you can see on Brad's screen there, the needle for the speedometer went way up near 100. And by sticking on the ground on a downhill, you just build up way more speed. It's way better than just driving off or jumping off. You just get zoomed down the hill. Other than that, it's lots of MTs, avoid the chomps, and hope your hands don't die by the end of it. Pitt looking like he's taking the early lead. The horrible visual of this track, of all the multicolors just burning out your eyes, actually end up being helpful because they're consistent. It's always the same pattern. And so you can time your MTs, time jumping into drifts with the colors. Especially for shortcut, you can time your jumps based on what color you're on. And same for the tran at the beginning. Lots of people will sort of let go of the gas, brake on a certain color, triple tap A on the next on a certain stripe. So it can be extremely helpful for timing your MTs and your spacing, because you don't want to just spam MTs as often as you physically can, because the time gained is from the speed boost, and you get the speed boost while you're driving, not while you're hopping or drifting. Pitt not getting the tran at all, just I think he jumped off. It is much slower to jump off or not get the tran. Called a tran because the guy who found it was his name was David Tran, if anyone was wondering. So neither player there using the shroom in the typical spot, which is that like really big uphill where the track sort of dips under another part of the track. That's typically where you would see someone use a shroom. Brad having some trouble all over the fence. Hit with a pretty good lead, but one chomp hit will bring him right back into it. See what Pitt does here. I think he jumps off. Yeah, he jumps off, which is much slower than doing a tran. Brad also jumping off. This is he's empty up the hill as well. But yeah, Rainbow Road, not one of the most exciting tracks in the game. Just extremely long. But at least we've got an NTSC match here, so it's only 5 minutes instead of 6 minutes. Brad hitting a chomp. It's unfortunate, but didn't lose him the race. Pitt had a pretty comfortable lead. He's going to come across with a 5:08. And Brad is going to take us back to Choco. I believe he picked that in set 1 as well. So it being set 3, their tracks all reset. You don't have to worry about having already picked something before. Other than now, with the third set, anything they've picked now, they can't pick again. Choco definitely a track some people can definitely struggle with. Personally, it's one of my worst tracks, non-shortcut. Bombi loves Choco Mountain. And Bombi, it seems me and you are pretty polar opposites on what tracks we like. because this track is a nightmare for me. Almost entirely because I'm not very good at it. It's not really the track itself. So at the end of lap 1, both players getting good hills. Brad ahead by about half a second after lap 1. These boulders that are falling are also on a cycle. So again, if you know what pace you're on, you shouldn't have trouble with the boulders. Brad getting good hills again. Gained another half a second on Pitt. On that lap, I should say. Good hills don't lose half a second. Or good hills don't gain half a second. Brad with a 142.25 to Pitt's 144.14. And Pitt taking us to Royal Raceway. Once again, I was about to say Royal Raceway is a great track. One of the rare ones where I really enjoy it, both shortcut and not shortcut. I gotta say too, over time, I think non-shortcut, Star Cup might be my favorite cup. I don't really massively dislike any track in Star Cup. But you can see both players going through the grass, 180 turn. Brad a bit slow over there. That is a very important part of the lap. Toad, Peach, and Yoshi are all identical in their stats. The only difference being Toad is very, very slightly lighter. But for time trials, that doesn't matter. But other than that, those three are the exact same and are by far the best for time trials. The exception is Bowser does have a couple tracks on shortcut where he is better because he A/B spins a bit tighter. But other than that, you're going to be seeing the lightweights used for everything non-shortcut. Brad with an early lead, but has used 2 of his shrooms already. Interesting to see what Brad does for lap 3 since he's down a shroom. Yes, those are the 2 things currently that Bowser is used for. Brad coming across the line with a pretty good lead on Pitt, but Pitt does have that shroom, and the shroom does save quite a bit of time on this track. Yeah, I mean, I think if Weatherton has his way, it'll be Bowser on SL shortcut. So Brad had enough in hand. The Shroom didn't catch Pitt up. So it does look like Brad's going to take the track and be one away from taking the set. And it is his pick as well. And he's going to take us to Luigi Raceway. Yeah, Luigi Raceway is massively overplayed and very simple. So cutting time is very difficult. But if you do cut really any time, you're going to go up a few places, especially on the flat. Everyone's really close. But when it comes to a one try, I actually really like Luigi Raceway. For some reason, when it comes to one tries, Luigi Raceway is my jam. Brad again going for that SSMT, actually hit it this time, which is good. Going pretty wide in the tunnel though. Ideally you want to hug the wall in that tunnel. Pitt going around on lap 1, so we're going to see them sort of desync in terms of Shroom strats. But only about 0.3 in it without that Shroom. So I think honestly Pitt is probably ahead once they equalize their Shrooms. Yeah, definitely Pitt is ahead. Oh, Pitt, interesting Shroom strategy there, and in fact now Brad is in the lead. This is now quite a close race, actually. Brad throwing in some good SSMTs in this race, actually. It's impressive. Some SSMTs I wouldn't expect someone of his rank to use, actually. So 141.99 to 142.76. Brad takes the track and the set. So we will go to Pitt's pick, going into the fourth and potentially final set. And he's going to go back to KD. We're going to get an actual race on KD this time. Yeah, that is a contentious thing as well in non-shortcut, whether you like shortcut or non-shortcut better. Or sorry, 3-lap or flat better. Personally, I always liked 3 laps better, especially once you get to the point where you're doing lap 2 flaps. The enjoyment of flaps goes way down when you start having to do them lap 2. So Calamari Desert. See both players using a shroom right at the beginning. I would expect both these players to use a 3-0-0 shroom strat. That is using all 3 shrooms on lap 1. That is because these trains that they're about to go by are on a cycle, and if you use your shrooms at bad times, those trains are in the way. But interestingly, I'm completely wrong. Brad using only 1 shroom on lap 1, Pitt using 2. So again, we've desynced a little bit on the shroom strats. Pitt using his 3rd shroom around the first corner. Is he going to make it past the train? He is. Brad, though, going to have to wait. So just not using the right shroom strat for his pace. I think he's pretty much given the track to Pitt that. Barely makes it past the train there as well. Pitt looking like he's just going to make it past the train. Brad going behind the train, which shows you how far behind he is. And Brad taking us to Banshee Boardwalk. Yeah, I always like 3-lap more because you don't have to be 100% consistent. Flap is just sort of all-out speed, all-out consistency, whereas 3-lap has a little more wiggle room. Again, Banshee Boardwalk, one of the best tracks in the game. A candidate for my number 1 track in the game, actually. I really enjoy Banshee Boardwalk. Either Banshee or Frat would be my favorite track, non-shortcut. It's interesting, you can probably tell if you looked at my timesheet which tracks I like more than others, because the tracks I like are higher ranked, because I feel like playing them way more. So again, this track requires really technical driving. You want to be really tight to the fence, fast MTs, clean shrooms. Oh, Pitt getting caught up on the wall. That's not great for when you want to go fast, getting slamming into a wall like that. That would be correct, Bobby. I like the 3-lap on this track, though, here more than the flap. I just happen to have a better flap. Ooh, Brad a little shaky in the bat house. It's very easy to hit that wooden pillar in the bat house and just get thrown into the water, which would bring Pitt right back into this. But as it is now, Brad very much in the lead. Ooh, a little shaky on the zigzag as well. He's just got to hold on and be clean. So Pitt taking us to Wario Stadium. Pitt definitely favoring the longer tracks in this. Is Brad's lap a Legend F? That's very solid for someone of his rank. And no, he's on NTSC. Yeah, 3588 would be Legend PAL. It's Elite D is his PR. So Wario Stadium, a very technical track, like I said before. And also extremely long. Both these players gonna have to hold on. These hills can send you off in horrible directions. The shroom is really inconsistent for a lot of players. So you can see Brad getting thrown around a little bit. And again, Pitt not using his shroom. Lap 1. Consistent throughout the whole match. Yeah, they don't have to worry about bolts in time trials. So Pitt actually ahead on time. He looks a little bit behind visually, but Brad started the track earlier. Pitt ahead and has his an extra shroom as well. Brad going very wide and into the wall. Brad not using his shroom there, so Pitt taking the visual lead as well. Brad struggling with these walls. Something that's very easy to do on Wario Stadium, just misjudge a hop, go right into a wall. Pitt using his shroom up the hill, same with Brad. Interesting spot for that. That is the third shroom on a flap attempt. And Pitt using a shroom in a very unusual spot there. Yeah, it's something you do see a lot with lower ranked players, is that they use shrooms in the wrong places, whether out of a bit of ignorance of where they should be using it, or I think probably more often than not, just not confident in the skill needed and consistency needed to do the faster shroom. Especially this track, it's very easy to mess up the shroom and go too tight and tumble on the wall, which will lose you a whole lot more time than using the shroom in a wrong place would lose you. So I would assume that that is the reason why they're not using the shroom over the double hill there. Just more consistency for a one-try format. Yeah, they are ranked in about the 350 range. So definitely a bit lower ranked when it comes to the one-try league. I will say though, Brad, the way he's been driving, some of the MTs he's doing, and especially SSMTs, if he has time to play again and really grind out time trials, he could definitely move up quite a bit. So Pitt takes that track, moves ahead in the set that he needs to win. And Pitt actually getting a flat PR on that lap too. And Brad taking us to Toad's Turnpike. No, I'm not in the one-try league this year. I do not feel like playing non-shortcut at all. Prefer to shroom into walls? Oh, well, you know. The thing is, if I shroom into a wall in non-shortcut, it's a lost run. It's a bad thing. Shrooming into a wall in shortcut is a good thing. Like, you just can't beat that. Yeah, a lot of people dislike Toad's Turnpike because of the cars. It's actually, I really don't mind it. To me, it's not one of my favorites. It's not one of my most hated. It's sort of like a mid-tier track to me. Brad with the early lead. Just that bit more raw pace from Brad, I think, but consistency letting him down on a few occasions. 52 flat to 52.49, half a second ahead. We did see both these players hit a car the last time we were in Toad's Turnpike, though. Brad also having used 2 of his shrooms already. Ooh, Pitt getting hung up on the fences, fires off his shroom. He fired in a straight line. You really don't ever want to fire a shroom in a straight line. You really want to... oh, he hits a tanker truck as well. It's pretty much going to hand it to Brad unless Brad also hits car. But in general, you want to be shrooming while you're drifting. You get a lot more speed that way. Oh, as Pitt hits another truck. Smurfy for shortcut champ? I don't know, man. Abney is a formidable target. Although, weirdly enough, I've got, I think, 2 wins on Abney. And it's VAJ I can't beat. Every time I beat VAJ somewhere, he goes and takes it back in like a day. So the next track, Moomoo Farm. Pitt's pick here. Pitt liking Moomoo Farm. Yeah, Bombi, those are the 2 I've got on him. And I've bopped Greg if we include Sherbetland. If you don't include Sherbetland, I haven't. So it's kind of a weird situation right now with Sherbetland not on the site. Yeah, you Moomoo Farm likers are a weird breed. You join Abney with that one, though. Abney likes Moomoo Farm. I think TYG likes Moomoo Farm as well. I can't remember. So Brad about a 10th ahead. Pitt into the fence, losing some time with that. I don't want to say what just popped into my head, because I will jinx everyone. Oh, and there goes Brad into a mole. So Pitt with a pretty good lead after lap 2 now. I think most of the people who like Moomoo Farm don't risk moles yet. Once you start risking moles and having to risk moles to PR, come back and talk to me. Oh, Brad into another mole. Pitt's gonna take that one. 117, not bad at all. Keith, you like Moomoo Farm? It was a bunch of weirdos in chat. So Pitt takes the lead, 1 track away from winning the set and staying alive. And Brad taking us to Koopa Troopa Beach. Yeah, this is the trade-off with Moomoo Farm, especially in a 1 try. How much do you risk? How much do you play safe? You know, you got to weigh that up, especially in this format where the stream delay is big enough that they can't really watch the stream to learn what mistakes the other person's made. We finally agree on one, Bombi. KTV is mid-tier, for sure. Although I do hate the MT into the tunnel. Awful. So Brad needs to win this to stay alive in the set. Pitt, if he wins this, does force a 5th and final set. Brad having some trouble, goes way wide. See if they both get in the tunnel. They both miss the tunnel. Brad used a shroom to recover. Pitt didn't. So while they look tied right now, I would say Pitt is definitely in the lead. Brad misses the tunnel again. And then tumbles on the wall. Spins around in frustration. Looks like Pitt is going to take this one, because even if he does miss the tunnel lap 3, I think he's got the time in hand. And Pitt makes it. So Pitt is going to take that, and that means he does take the set as well. Well, Crypto, the cornering and is the execution in this game, really. The jump is the most inconsistent part for lower ranked players, but when it comes to execution, there's a lot more execution that goes into cornering and MTing well than doing the tunnel. Like, a lot more. So Brad's pick first for the final set, and he's going to Frap Snowland. Did well when they played on Frap Snowland earlier. Yeah, it's definitely there's a lot more technical execution than you would expect in this game. With MTs, SSMTs, boost turns, being really tight really tight along the corners, holding shrooms. Like it's way more execution in this game than what it looks like on the surface. So Frap Snowland, shroom is going to be. Oh, Sean, I'll fight you on that one. Perhaps Snowland's one of the best in the game. So Brad uses a pretty strange shroom strat there. Sort of starts the fast 3-lap strat and then kind of bails on it and goes over to the slower strat. Well, Crypto, the snow tracks don't have any other, like, they don't have any different physics or anything like that. There's no ice physics in this game at all. So it's just like driving on any other track. So Pitt looking like he's taking the early lead. Yeah, much better lap there. So Pitt, importantly, looks like he is going to take the win on Brad's pick in this last set. Itchy, the shortcut flap's great, but the 3-lap is even better. So now Pitt up 1-0 in the last set, and it is his pick. Where's he going to take us? And he's going to take us to Yoshi Valley for the first time in the match. This will be very interesting to see the strats that these guys use. Will they go through the spinies? Will they play it safe? This is a very, very high variance track in one tries. Wow, getting ready on the track perfectly in sync there. Both players taking it around the safe way. To be expected. Pitt misses hairpin though. Brad gets it. Certainly wouldn't say it's over yet. I would say both players' hairpin is probably a touchy thing. Brad also using a shroom in a weird spot as well. Using it at the end of the lap instead of the start of the lap. That hairpin jump, by the way, is considered non-shortcut. Brad with the clean hairpin. Ooh, Brad getting a bit mixed up with his shrooms there. It's going to allow Pitt to save some time. Now Brad really does need a clean hairpin, or Pitt is going to catch up. Gets it clean. Oh, Pitt falls off. So both winning each other's picks so far in this last set. And we're going to Mario Raceway. Probably a smart pick for Brad. This track definitely, you would expect Brad to have the advantage based on their skill sets that we've seen so far.
Okay.
Yeah, Brad, I would say has the more raw pace, but Pitt has been a bit more consistent in this match. But Mario Raceway would definitely favor the pace side of things. There's not a huge amount of opportunity to make a big mistake. Pitt taking a slow way around, not through the grass. You can see Brad about 0.4 ahead after lap 1. Both players going safe around the mushroom, as you'd expect. Pitt actually catching up about a tenth on that lap. So Brad does need a clean lap here. And Brad does take it. Yeah, Crypto, the thing is when you play this game long enough, you start to just kind of tune that stuff out. Like, I don't even pay attention to the MT noises anymore. Just be happy neither of these players are using the JP version. JP Toad is something. So we are just waiting. Both players went to grab a drink real quick. Going deep into set 5 here. It's true, yeah. The JP Toad is just the Mario Party Toad. It's that voice acting. It's literally the same voice actor. So, if you like Mario Party Toad, you'll like JP Mario Kart Toad. So we're going to Luigi Raceway on Pitt's pick. Yeah, it's Haddock versus Stefan next, and I'm actually the commentator for that match as well. So I'll be seeing all of you tomorrow, right? Guess you'll show up? Alright, that sounds good, Haddock. As long as you show up, I'll be happy. Brad getting caught up in the grass a little bit, but it does look like he's got a bit of a lead at the beginning. Shrooms, I think, are really going to be what decides it on this track for these two. Pitt going around on lap 1 like he did last time. So he does have the lead, but we won't really know who's ahead until the shrooms even out. Looks like Pitt is dropping some frames, unfortunately. And now we just have a picture. Oh, a bit of a slideshow on Pitt's side, but we'll see what happens. Here comes the splice. This is a PSA to everyone streaming. If your PC is capable of it, local record while you stream. That concept actually saved me relatively recently. Fraps No Land shortcut 3-lap. My stream froze right at the finish line. Looked absolutely like it was just a big dirty splice. But I was local recording. But Brad with a 141, gonna have to wait to see what Pitt got. The photo finish. And it is Brad's pick, and he's taking us to Royal Raceway. 143.59. So I don't know what's going on Pitt's end, but you've got a slideshow. But we are headed to potentially the last track of the match. Brad wins this track, he takes the match. Also, you notice Brad, really not a shortcut player, hasn't used his shortcut joker. I think that was consistent last year in the One Try League as well. I don't think he used his joker in any match. Yeah, which one of you DDoSed Pitt? Who's the jerk? Who's on Brad's payroll in the chat? Yeah. So, yeah, unfortunately, we're not going to really see what Pitt is doing for this potentially last race. Brad, though, looking like he's got a pretty solid race going so far. Struggles with that hill, didn't get that MT, got caught up on the grass. It's interesting that Pitt's stream isn't just dropping frames, it's like lagging behind as well. It's like it's not catching up to itself. But Brad goes into lap 3. He's had a pretty solid run so far. I would expect that he's ahead right now. And with that, Brad does take the final set. Because Pitt got a 232.40, according to what he's told me. So congratulations to Brad. Takes the win. Pitt put up a hell of a fight, though, taking it to 5 sets. And yeah, Pitt got a 232.40. So, yeah, really well done to Brad. Hard fought win. Look up, I know it is Haddock versus Parisian player. Coming up tomorrow. Let me just double check what time it is. Haddock in the chat probably knows before I can grab it. Is at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. So yeah, I think Brad also cut a stream, so it's just us now. But yeah, thank you everybody for watching. Hopefully we see you next time for more One Try League awesomeness. So thanks again for everybody watching. Thanks to Pitt and Brad. And congratulations again to Brad. And we will see you for the next match.